Welcome back, everyone. It is May, and May is a special month for a lot of women in our family. So, this is a secret. Go away from the person that you could possibly make this for. For this project, you'll need some scrap paper or plain paper, glue, whether it's white or glue stick, scissors, color paper scraps, 2 straws, and some love. Oh, this is my mom. My mom saved every card I made for her, or most of them. But at my age now, it's really funny looking back at them. So yes, that is what we're making today, a Mother's Day card for the special woman in your life, because one day they're going to save it forever and ever, and you're going to look back at your artistic skills and see how much they improved over the years. Now, I'm officially a mom. That is my son, Ashton, and I hope he makes me a card without looking at this video I make him, because I'm going to save it too. Now let's get started. Grab all the supplies that I had went over earlier. Also to add, go ahead and grab a ruler as well. You will always get a straight line if you use a ruler correctly. These are all the supplies laid out to get started. Also, remember the scrap paper from the Kandinsky project? I told you to save it. We need those as well. This is your workstation ready for preparation for what we're about to do, which is some 3D flowers. We have longer strips that we're going to cut in half to make our flowers not so big on the paper. If you don't have long strips, you can skip this step, but if you do like I do, just fold them in half to the ends touch and then just take your scissors and split them in half. Now that we're all cut up, it is time to start prepping our petals to make our flowers start coming together. I prepped about 8 petals just to make an even amount, but if they're really small, you may be able to do more, but just make sure your numbers are all even. Here's one way to start putting the petals together to make them look 3D. I'm turning them on the color side so we can't see them anymore, and I'm working smarter, not harder, and I'm going ahead and putting my glue on the tips so I can put my glue bottle down and continue to fold the petals together. This part's really easy. Just put the glue to the other side that has no glue, pinch and hold. Now, I'm being fancy over here and I'm doing 2 at a time, but you don't have to, but at least hold them for 5 to 10 seconds. That white glue really works better than you think. That scrap paper, I'm using yellow for the middle of my flower, but by all means, use whatever color you like. But turn it on the back side where you see the lines that you didn't perfectly cut. As you remember on the last project, I put an X on it. If not, put an X on the side that's kind of the bad side. That's going to be the side that you're going to cover up and no one will ever see your mistakes. We're taking the petals and we're pretty much going to go around the circle, taking turns going back and forth for each side. Once you have 4 petals on, you'll notice a T or maybe even an X. After that, you're going to put them in between each space, and that's going to fill all your gaps. That's the 8, but if you want more, then that means you're going to glue them together even closer. But it all depends, but that's something you have to map out in advance to make sure it all fits together. That little spot in the middle of the flower is just the glue that's not dry. You can take another yellow circle and just glue it on top, maybe using a glue stick instead, or take a marker and add some detail to make it look like the little texture filling in the middle of the flower that the bees always go to. Ooh, grab your straw. I just so happen had green, and that's the color that the stems are on flowers, but you might have a green with some white stripes, or you might have a polka dot one, or maybe you want to take a permanent marker and color you a green one. It's totally up to you. You can even add some different design on it. What I like to do is put some tape on the back of it just to secure it in place if you don't really want to wait for the white glue to dry. And that white glue will make it dry. You just have to have patience and it'll work out. Yay, one flower is done. It's already looking good. This is where your scrap paper comes into play. You choose whatever color background you want. I am just using the excess straw that I had to make it look like the grass at the bottom. This is just an option. It's totally up to you. But either way, I'm just kind of sizing everything out so I can get my second flower on there. If you choose to stop at one flower, that's okay. But two different flowers with different colors are really pretty as well. Here's another option for your assemblage. You can glue directly on the paper. You have to figure out which one may be easier for you. I like the first way better, but this is also an option. If you glue directly on the paper, you will not be able to move your flower into a different place unless you pull it up, but it might mess it up. Same thing as the first version that I did. Make sure you're using your petal strips and you're doing even size first. Make a T or an X and then fill in the spaces in between. If you do it this way, you might be able to get more petals in, but just make sure you still have an even amount of numbers. After you get all your even petals laid down, press it in the middle to make them stick a little better. Go ahead and put glue on the tips of all the petals. Use the tip of the glue bottle just to spread it out just a little bit, or you may use your glue stick. You will start folding them to the middle. You can do as many as you want at one time. Just make sure as you fold, you use your finger to hold them down. Your grass can be more patterned paper, or you may get some more scraps of green that you used on a previous project and use your grass that way. It's totally up to you. Your flowers, they don't have to be one solid color. You can mix and match the patterns you have as well with the petals to go in a ABC pattern. You may use your markers or your crayons to write a Happy Mother's Day message, whether it's on the front or the back. But if you do it on the back, you might want to write it first before you glue your 3D flowers on so they don't get smushed. Now this paper, I just used a white piece of paper and used 2 different crayons to color it in, because this is just an option if you don't have any scrap paper that has polka dot stripes or any type of line. You can also just use any type of solid paper, fold it in half, and then it can be your card that opens. Toe taps, toe taps. That concludes our Mother's Day card project. This is something she will forever cherish and add to her collection. Within the next week, I'm going to add another project just for fun, and possibly that could be a Father's Day gift. So stay tuned. Go to this YouTube channel because it might not be on Cumberland County's website. We will see.